1 foot of snow. That is what high-resolution weather models are now projecting for New York City, Boston, Hartford, and Providence, starting Sunday, February 22nd. And for Cape Cod, the number is 18 inches, in less than 36 hours. This is not a typical winter storm. The National Weather Service has already issued winter storm warnings and watches across 8 states. The Weather Prediction Center is flagging a 20 to 50% chance of at least moderate impacts from Philadelphia all the way up through southern New England. And in the hardest-hit coastal zones, the probability of significant impacts is even higher. Here is exactly what you will get in this report: the precise hour-by-hour timeline for when this storm arrives in your specific city. Not general ranges, exact times. When snow begins, when it peaks, when it ends. You will also get the full picture of what is hitting the rest of the country right now, from a historic blizzard in the Sierra Nevada that dropped 111 inches of snow in 5 days to fire weather emergencies across 4 states just 72 hours ago. By the time this report is done, you will understand why forecasters are treating this weekend as one of the most complex and dangerous multi-system weather events the United States has seen in years. But first, you need to understand what is driving this storm, and what comes next is going to shock you. Here's the important part. The National Weather Service has confirmed winter storm warnings across portions of Michigan, New York, New England, and Pennsylvania, with snowfall totals of up to 28 centimeters or 11 inches already on the ground in some warning areas. Ice accumulations of up to a quarter inch have been reported, and that was before the main event even arrived. But that was not the worst of it. A new low-pressure system is developing right now off the Outer Banks of North Carolina. By Sunday morning, it will rapidly deepen to 973 millibars off Cape Cod. That pressure reading puts this squarely in nor'easter territory, one of the most powerful storm configurations the East Coast experiences. And the national blend of models, which combines every major forecast model available, is showing a solid foot of snow from New York City to Boston. That is the most likely scenario as of this report. Here's what nobody else is giving you right now. The University of California, Berkeley's Central Sierra Snow Laboratory reported 111 inches of snowfall in just 5 days in the Sierra Nevada. The last time any 5-day stretch produced more was April of 1982 with 118.5 inches and December of 1970 with 113. That record-breaking Western event is part of the same massive atmospheric pattern reshaping weather across the entire country this weekend. If you live anywhere from Washington, D.C. to Bangor, Maine, pay close attention to what comes next. The situation is about to get much worse before it gets better. To understand why this nor'easter has the potential to be historic, you need to understand the mechanics behind it. A low-pressure system that spent the week pushing tornadoes through southeastern Illinois, southern Indiana, and the Ohio Valley, confirmed at least 5 tornadoes on Thursday alone, has now pushed into the Great Lakes. That same storm is pulling Arctic air down from Canada behind it. At the same time, a brand new low is forming in the southeast tonight, tracking offshore of North Carolina by tomorrow morning and rapidly deepening as it moves northeast along the coast. Think of it like a pinball machine. Cold Arctic air is locked in from the northwest. A new storm is tracking up from the south. When those two forces collide off the coast, with cold air sitting over the entire northeast on the northwest side of that low, you get a textbook nor'easter. The RRFS model, which performs similarly to the high-resolution RAP model and tends to handle coastal storms well, is already showing snow falling across northern Virginia, the Panhandle region of West Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and the Poconos of southeastern Pennsylvania on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. But here is what raises the stakes further. The combination of strong winds and heavy snowfall is most likely along the Interstate 95 corridor from Philadelphia to New York to Boston. The Weather Prediction Center is specifically warning that snowfall rates exceeding 1 inch per hour are possible in the heaviest bands. When you combine rates like that with wind gusts that could reach near blizzard conditions along the coast, visibility drops to near zero in minutes. Where are you watching this from today? Drop your city and state in the comments right now. I am going through every single comment and giving people the exact forecast for their specific location. Hundreds of viewers are already doing this. Do not wait. What comes next is the hour-by-hour timeline, and the exact moment this storm arrives at your door. Here is your critical timeline for this nor'easter, city by city: Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, the Maryland Panhandle, and the Poconos of southeastern Pennsylvania. Listen carefully. Sunday morning, February 22nd at 7 a.m., snow is already showing on high-resolution models. This is not heavy at first. Do not be fooled. By 9 a.m., moderate snow begins accumulating. Road conditions deteriorate through the mid-morning hours. Interstate 95, Interstate 270, and the Baltimore-Washington Parkway will become treacherous. plan accordingly. If you need to be anywhere Sunday morning, leave before 6 a.m. or do not go. New Jersey, your window is critical. Snow develops Sunday morning and intensifies through the afternoon. Eastern New Jersey, including the Jersey Shore corridor, is in the zone for up to 1 foot of total accumulation. Western New Jersey, closer to Philadelphia, will see slightly lower totals but still significant snow with wind and reduced visibility. The combination of coastal proximity and northeast flow means this storm will pile snow into your area relentlessly. New York City, listen carefully. Snow arrives Sunday morning, light at first through the morning hours, but by Sunday afternoon, conditions deteriorate sharply. Heavy snowfall rates through Sunday evening and overnight into Monday morning, February 23rd. The national blend of models is projecting up to 1 foot of snow for the New York metro area. Eastern Long Island, you are in the worst position in the region with projections of 10 to 12 inches. Western Long Island and Staten Island, current model guidance from the RRFS model is showing 2 to 4 inches, with the heavier snow staying closer to the eastern end of the island where the storm track hits hardest. Hartford and Providence, your peak intensity arrives Sunday night into Monday morning. 5 to 6 inches of total accumulation, with the heaviest rates overnight when roads will be at their most dangerous. Boston, snow begins Sunday evening and continues through the Monday morning commute. Peak accumulation arrives between midnight and 6 a.m. Monday morning. Do not think about driving to work Monday morning before checking conditions. The current most likely projection puts Boston at around 1 foot of snow, potentially more depending on exact storm track. The Monday morning commute, February 23rd, will be one of the most dangerous this city has seen all winter. Cape Cod, you are in a unique position. This storm's track puts you directly in the path of the heaviest snow band. Projections of up to 18 inches are realistic on the current model consensus. That is not a typo. 18 inches. Wind gusts near blizzard conditions. This is a legitimate life-threatening travel situation for Cape Cod beginning Sunday afternoon and continuing through Monday. But here is the terrifying part that most forecasters are not emphasizing enough. The exact storm track still carries uncertainty. A small shift north or south in the low-pressure center changes everything. If the storm tracks slightly more onshore, New York City and Boston could see even higher totals. If it tracks further offshore, the heaviest snow stays near the coast. You need to keep watching forecast updates through Sunday morning. Right now, at this very moment, millions of Americans across the Northeast are making decisions that will determine whether they are safe or stranded on Monday morning. Think about what 1 foot of snow in a coastal nor'easter actually feels like on the ground. Snow does not fall straight down. The wind drives it horizontal. Visibility collapses to the length of a football field, then to the end of your driveway, then to nothing. You cannot see the road in front of you. You cannot see the traffic lights. Power lines accumulate ice and wet snow, and the weight snaps them. The Weather Prediction Center has specifically warned that if snowfall exceeds 6 inches, the wet, heavy nature of a coastal nor'easter could cause scattered power outages, particularly where snow accumulates on trees and utility lines. With projections of 12 to 18 inches in some areas, widespread outages are not just possible, they are likely. Tens of thousands of households in the Northeast could lose heat and power in February. That is not a statistic on a weather map. That is elderly residents in Boston and Providence who cannot charge their medical devices. That is families in New Jersey who wake up on Monday to a house that is 40 degrees and getting colder. That is the real danger of this storm. Let me remind you of the numbers we established earlier because they matter even more now. The Weather Prediction Center is flagging a 20 to 50% chance of at least moderate impacts along the entire corridor from central Appalachians through eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, southeastern New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and parts of Massachusetts. The probability of significant impacts increases closer to the coast. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. This is official guidance from the National Weather Service. Forecasters do not issue winter storm warnings across 8 states for ordinary weather events. Here is what you need to do before Sunday morning if you are in the affected zone. 1. Charge every electronic device fully before midnight tonight. 2. Fill your car with gas now. Stations in affected areas will have lines by Sunday morning. 3. Prepare flashlights, backup batteries, and bottled water. Pumps do not work without electricity. 4. Have blankets, warm clothing, and a backup heating source accessible. 5. Enable weather alerts on your phone. 6. Plan to stay home Sunday and Monday if at all possible. Your safety is not worth any trip. If you are in the affected zone, comment your exact location below. I am personally reading and responding with specific guidance for your neighborhood. Do not wait. Here's the important part about what this storm means beyond the snow totals. This is not just a snowstorm. We are looking at blizzard-force winds, near-zero visibility, widespread power outages, coastal flooding, beach erosion, and a full transportation shutdown, all happening simultaneously across one of the most densely populated corridors in the United States. 5 distinct threats at once. The Interstate 95 corridor from Philadelphia to Boston handles some of the highest traffic volumes of any highway stretch in the country. When that corridor goes down, it is not just commuters who are affected. Supply chains halt. Emergency vehicles cannot reach their destinations. Hospitals go on diversion. The ripple effects extend for days after the last snowflake falls. The Weather Prediction Center has also confirmed minor coastal flooding and beach erosion for parts of the East Coast as the low pressure deepens offshore. Communities along the New Jersey shore, Long Island Sound, Narragansett Bay, and Cape Cod Bay should be alert to the potential for coastal flooding on top of the snowfall. The last time a nor'easter of this potential magnitude struck this corridor, it forced flight cancellations across every major airport from Philadelphia International to Boston Logan. Expect similar impacts this time. If you have travel plans for Sunday or Monday, February 22nd or 23rd, contact your airline now. Do not wait until Sunday morning to find out your flight is canceled. It will be. But here's what most people do not realize. Power restoration after a major coastal nor'easter does not happen in hours. Depending on damage to transmission infrastructure, restoration can take 24 to 72 hours in the hardest hit areas. In February, that is a serious health risk for vulnerable populations. Plan for the possibility of being without power for up to 3 days. The National Weather Service and the Weather Prediction Center began issuing winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories across 8 states starting February 20th, more than 48 hours in advance of the storm's arrival. That lead time is significant. It gives state emergency management agencies, departments of transportation, and local governments time to pre-position resources. State transportation departments across New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire are expected to activate their full fleets of snowplows and salt trucks ahead of Sunday morning's onset. In major coastal storm events, pre-treatment of highway surfaces with brine begins 12 to 24 hours before snowfall starts. That process is likely already underway in some areas, but here is the critical question that officials must answer in the next 24 hours. Given the significant track uncertainty that remains in this forecast, at what point do governors issue emergency declarations, activate the National Guard, and coordinate shelter operations for vulnerable populations who may lose heat? The worst outcomes from major winter storms almost always involve delayed action, either by individuals who underestimate the storm or by governments who wait too long to position resources. The National Weather Service has been explicit that forecast uncertainty remains high, particularly regarding the exact storm track and rain-to-snow line placement. Small shifts in the low-pressure center can substantially alter snowfall totals and the affected area. Officials who wait for certainty before acting may find themselves responding to a crisis rather than preventing one. What could be done differently this time compared to past major coastal storms is a question every emergency manager in the Northeast should be asking right now. Here's the important part about what this weekend's weather pattern reveals. This nor'easter does not exist in isolation. It is the product of a massive atmospheric configuration reshaping weather across the entire country simultaneously, and that configuration is not going away after Monday. Look at the full national picture right now on February 21st, 2026. In the West, the Sierra Nevada just recorded one of the largest 5-day snowfall totals in over 4 decades. 111 inches in 5 days at UC Berkeley's Central Sierra Snow Laboratory. The only comparable 5-day periods were December 1970 with 113 inches and April 1982 with 118.5 inches. A presumed 9 backcountry skiers were killed by avalanches triggered when powdery new snow layered over hard refrozen base. That is the scale of what the West just experienced. In the central part of the country, a ridge of high pressure centered over Arizona and New Mexico is driving an Arctic air mass straight from Canada into the eastern 2/3 of the United States. North Dakota is sitting in single digits today. Florida broke records in the low 90s. That is a 90-degree temperature differential across one country in one day. And in 4 states, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico, fire weather emergencies were in effect just 72 hours ago, with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and humidity levels below 10%. This is what a major atmospheric pattern shift looks like, and it is not done. Long-range models are already showing another potential nor'easter around the 1st of March. High-resolution guidance from both the European and American models is showing Clipper systems continuing to fire out of Canada through the end of February, with a phasing system possible around February 26th and 27th that could bring another significant snowstorm to the Ohio Valley and New England. The pattern that is producing this event strongly favors continued active winter weather through at least the first week of March. After this nor'easter passes, I will have a full extended outlook covering the late February into early March pattern. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it. The next event may be tracking before this one even ends. Let us recap what we have covered. 1 foot of snow is the most likely outcome for New York City and Boston from this nor'easter beginning Sunday, February 22nd. Cape Cod is looking at up to 18 inches. Eastern Long Island, 10 to 12 inches. Western Long Island, 2 to 4 inches based on current RRFS model guidance. Winter storm warnings are in effect across 8 states. The Weather Prediction Center has flagged a 20 to 50% probability of at least moderate impacts from the central Appalachians through southern New England, with higher probabilities for significant impacts along the immediate coast. Snowfall rates exceeding 1 inch per hour are possible in the heaviest bands. Power outages, coastal flooding, and near blizzard conditions are all on the table simultaneously. You now have everything you need to make smart decisions for this weekend. But forecast details will continue to evolve through Sunday morning as the storm approaches. Drop your city and state in the comments right now. Tell me where you are watching from, and I will update you personally with the latest information for your specific location as conditions evolve. Hundreds of people are already doing this and getting real-time updates directly from me. Do not wait. Share this report with everyone you know in the Northeast Corridor from Philadelphia to Maine. They need to see this before Sunday morning. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. The National Weather Service, the Weather Prediction Center, and multiple high-resolution forecast models are all in agreement on the core of this forecast. What remains uncertain is the exact track, and that uncertainty cuts both ways. This storm could be worse than projected. I hope it is not. One final question for the comments below. Given the forecast uncertainty that officials have acknowledged, do you think state and local governments are doing enough right now, today, February 21st, to protect vulnerable residents who may lose heat and power this weekend? Let me know what you are seeing in your community.